Face it, family, it is time to figure out what vehicle we are going to get next for my big show vehicle for, of course, 2024. But first, we got to say our goodbyes to the old Sequoia. Now, before I can discuss what we need for the next show vehicle, we really got to discuss what doesn't work about this particular vehicle. For the next build, I plan to be using my 8 15-inch Avatar SDUs, probably on this Apocalypse 20K. So, of course, all that fits in this vehicle, so I know this vehicle is a good size, so that's not my problem. And also, besides some bad rust right here on the fender wells, there's really no rust on the frame of the car, and the rest of the body of the car is in great shape, so there's no integral issues or framing grounding issues, so that's not the reason either. The issue lies right in here. That's right, guys, of course. They send me this stuff out of the kindness of their heart, so when I can make a video for y'all, and I cannot thank them enough. They have been a huge supporter of the channel, and they make absolutely awesome equipment that it has just been an absolute pleasure testing out, making videos with for y'all. Now, they have been running their holiday sales. Y'all, they have had stuff up to 35% off. There will, of course, be a link in the description below. Huge, just massive, massive savings if you're wanting to pick up stuff to build yourself a system, you know, for the coming year. Now is definitely the time to jump on some of the deals and go do it. Once again, huge thank you to them. Now let's get back to it. Now, this is a Toyota. It has their awesome V8 4.7 liter motor. These things are insane, guys. They go well above 300,000 miles. Absolutely no problem. This vehicle only has about 200,000 on it. The transmissions are pretty good as well. So nothing mechanical, nothing to do with the drivetrain that I am worried about. Instead, the issue lies with my basically power supply in this thing. Now, you know what everybody says, it takes power to make power, and that's 100% the truth. Now, I've managed okay with my system the way it is because I have a ton of lithium cells, so as long as I charge them up good, they seem to do decent during a show. That being said, they dip down into the 12s, even occasionally the high 11s. So it's really just not optimal for a big setup. Now, to make power in a vehicle, guys, you need alternators. And that's where the big issue with this Toyota in particular are. Two main issues. First of all, there's no room in this thing, and there are no brackets out there available to do multiple alts. Now, your stock alt is over on the passenger side near the bottom. Huge pain to get in and out, but it is there. It is possible to do. And I have seen some people have figured out a way to add another alt on the driver's side, real down low, doing some modifications, making a custom bracket, but that is not something I really want to mess with. The other issue is that these V8s, for whatever reason, idle low, so the biggest alt you really can put on these things, if you want them to charge without having to rev it up, is a 250 amp alt. Currently, that's what I'm running. I'm running one of the Mega Man, they call it their 240 version. Technically, it does close to 260, but it charges just fine under normal idle, but even 250, 260 amps of power, it's just not enough for what I need. The way I see this, guys, if I'm going to be doing a big, show build for the channel, I need to start with a really good foundation. In my opinion, you need 3 things for a really good foundation in a big audio build. 1, obviously, you need the cabin space to be able to physically fit the equipment that you want to use. 2, you need the structural integrity of the car. Basically, you need a frame that is super solid, doesn't have a lot of rust, because your frame is going to be your ground. Going to have a ton of grounding going to the frame, and that just needs to be super solid, so that way we have a really great electrical system. And 3, you got to have a charging powerhouse. Now, I'm not 100% sure yet how my next system is going to go, but my plan is to run a stock 12-volt system that'll power the car, power the starting battery, but then for the big subsystem, I plan to have a separate charging system that's going to charge much higher, probably somewhere between 16 and 18 volts. To do that, that means we need 2 separate charging systems, which means we need at least 2 alts. Now, I think my plan is to run 3 alts. Going to run the stock alt for the stock stuff in the car, and then run 2 high output alts, hopefully 400s or 450s or whatever is the biggest thing that I can go with in the vehicle that I get. That should give me plenty of power for what I plan to do. So what this breaks down to, y'all, I need an affordable vehicle that is at least in that mid-sized SUV range, probably something like a Tahoe or Tahoe XL size, maybe one of the old Ford Excursions. It needs to be solid, can't have a ton of rust on it, and I want it to easily be able to mount up multiple alts. I don't want to do a bunch of custom figuring out. On this channel, I try to do DIY stuff that anybody could do. So I'm not trying to do anything crazy custom. Now that you know what I'm looking for, guys, let me know in the comments what vehicles y'all think would meet all of my criteria. Now I'm going to go over my thoughts on the subject here in a minute. But first, time to rip the 815s out of the Sequoia. I literally just hooked all these subs up 3 days ago, which took forever, and here we are, ripping them right back out. This YouTube thing, guys, keeps you busy. Y'all, that is one heck of a job getting all that out, but got it out. We're throwing up the wall over here like we used to have. Gotta pull out my headway cells, mount them there. I gotta say, it will be nice to have my back seats back and have a good deal of trunk space back. Unfortunately though, of course, this is what we're using, so we gotta unhook all this, pull this battery bank out, and throw it in the Sequoia. This is coming along very nicely. Super excited to have all this back in. This battery hooked up, so the car is fully operational and everything. That's good. I'm gonna miss the big system, but it's gonna be so nice to be able to do reviews in this thing again. It's just so nice to pull in the garage. All the room in the back is just a lot easier than doing stuff in the truck. Next up, let's get the 4-channel amp hooked up so we can have some tunes in this thing. And from there, just kind of clean up, figure out what amp we're gonna mount before doing my sub reviews and stuff. We got several options, so I don't know, but anyway, couldn't be happier to have all this done. Well, guys, back to having back seats in this thing, which for a car that I daily drive is kind of nice. But yeah, so yeah, next up I'll have to figure out what amp I want to run in here. Like I said, a couple options. But this means we're ready to go back to doing the old reviews in the Sequoia like we used to do. For amps, we have a couple options. Let me know what you think. We put the MD 12K in there. We could put one of the Smart Bait Aces in there. We could put the Marks Digital 16K, but it's a little big. I don't think it'll fit with the 4-channel amp that I have in there, so I'd kind of rather not use that one. But hey, if y'all think I should, maybe I will. We have the Def Bonts Atom 9.5K. We're gonna have something brand new from Tar Amps here. Let's check this thing out. I think you say Chapio. Anyway, this is the Chapio 12K. This is, of course, not a high voltage amp. This is a 12-volt amp, but kind of interesting here. They said this thing has no bells and whistles, but it really pushes out the power, so could be interesting to see what it does. Anyway, guys, let me know which amp you would like me to use for doing the reviews. Time to discuss what vehicle I think I'm going to get. Now, starting with, of course, the alternator issue, but not a ton of SUVs that have the room for extra alts. Now, there are some Fords we could get. Some of the older Excursions have room and have plug-and-play brackets that we could put in there for multiple alts. Some of the old Fords that have the 4.0 motor also work, but there's really not a ton of options for either of those. Now, y'all know what is the king when it comes to multiple alts, when it comes to just kind of basehead vehicles in general. That is your GM vehicles. When it comes to those guys, there are just tons of options. Of course, GM being your GMCs or your Chevys. From there, what would work for what I'm doing would really be a Tahoe, Yukon, or Suburban. I forget what the GMC version of the Suburban is. Or maybe some of the Cadillacs. I think some of those work as well. No, I really don't need something quite as big as a Suburban. That would be cool. But we're only doing 815s. I don't actually need a huge amount of room. And that would just be a bigger vehicle parked in my garage than I need. So I really am leaning towards either a Tahoe or a Yukon. Now, y'all, I know that is the least original vehicle that I could possibly get, but there's a reason for it. It would have the size I would need. You know, getting an early 2000s one is in my price range. And it'd be real easy to get a bracket and hook up 3, even 4 alternators if I wanted to. So anyway, guys, that is what I'm thinking, but let me know in the comments what are some other vehicles that y'all think I should do, and I'll definitely look into them. Well, guys, this is going to do it for this video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay tuned for the next video. Remember, of course, we're doing the giveaway on the Def Bonts subs. If I haven't posted a video on Facebook about that yet, I'll be doing that really soon. Anyway, that's going to do it. Remember, as always, y'all, keep basing on.